Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone else set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here, and we're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning. I have a very poor connection. I think you're breaking up on me, so I think it's my network, and I have no idea why.
Okay.
Just be aware that I may not be able to hear well.
Okay. All right. Rick, let me make...
call this morning was fine. This is a little shaky.
Okay. Let me make a quick announcement. Dr. Joel Wallach is going to be in Springfield, Missouri, Monday and Tuesday of next week. Monday and Tuesday. And he's going to be presenting information on the ins and outs of nutrition for better health. It will be at the Holiday Inn on North Glenstone. It's just south of Interstate 44, Springfield, Missouri. Holiday Inn, North Glenstone. And let me give you a phone number if you'd like to call and let them know that you're going to be there. And I'm going to do my best to be there as well. The phone number to call, Jim Stewart, he's one of our team, 417-863-7149, 417-863-7149. That's for Jim Stewart. And more information. So when does this begin? 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Monday, 6 o'clock Tuesday. Registration's at 6 o'clock. Meeting starts at 7 o'clock. Holiday Inn, North Glenstone, Dr. Joel Wallach. So, Rick, I was thinking about, what are the qualifications to become, the White House press secretary? and the reason I've been thinking about this is because it's a reflection of society today. And I think if someone were writing the job description and qualifications, it would say something like, requirements are, you must be a natural-born liar. You must have the ability to conjure more lies. You must have the ability to lie with a straight face. You must have no remorse nor morals. And I think, and of course you have to have a pulse and you have to show up on time. And I think that's indicative of what we see in our government today. But if by extension you look at the person who's lying for the White House, obviously it must be with the blessing of the White House. And that means it must be with the blessing of the boss. And that would be the guy who plays golf, Barry, the president, or the resident with an R. So it must be with his blessing that all these lies are fabricated and continued and spun and so forth. And when I was growing up, you never heard the term spin.
I have a thought on that. It's the distinction or difference between West Wing and House of Cards. Like West Wing was really, you gave a nice picture of, trying to run a tight ship, and House of Cards spilled the beans. And yeah. I'm guessing that Hillary Clinton has paper on everyone in Washington, and that the whole thing is run about blackmail. And yeah. I can't imagine why Pelosi and others would want to endorse someone like her unless they were forced to do so.
Those are really good points. And I was watching a video on J. Edgar Hoover. And he was at the head of the FBI, and he built the FBI into the morass it is today. And, when I was growing up, we were led to believe that the FBI was righteous and, was truth, justice, and the American way and righteous and so forth. And now we're finding out that that's not really so true. And J. Edgar Hoover built his empire at the taxpayer's dollar by threatening presidents and threatening other people. He had private files on these people. And, it started out with Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He had a file on Eleanor Roosevelt, the first lady at the time, who was having a lesbian relationship with a woman. And he had a file on that. And so he brought that to the attention to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and J. Edgar Hoover got what he wanted. And of course, he continued this type of persuasion through president after president. So here we have a guy who is secretly, illegally monitoring, wiretapping, listening in, snooping on people, and it's against the law. But he was doing it, and he was
Hubbard wrote that on Battlefield Earth and leverage and the way it works in the big world. And that's pretty much one of the reasons it's important for all of us to always have no shame at self-imaging and to walk your talk so that nobody can try to manipulate you or bully you in some way to have you. That's why I'm as careful as I am, because I have no care or fear of if someone tried to blackmail me, I am prepared to die. I am prepared to take them down.
Well,
Don't do it.
Okay.
They've sent,
I was thinking
in my lifetime, I've had honeypots sent to me in recent years. I mean, strange women showing up at my door with drugs, wanting to come in and play. What? Why would I want to do that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's and now with profiling and the concepts of our machine language being able to predict what you're going to do before you even know what you're going to do, this is a scary period for all of us.
Well, this all began with J. Edgar Hoover. He was interested in pre-crime. He was interested in building a national database on every one of us, starting with fingerprints. And, of course, information that he had his henchmen dig up so that he could increase the size of his empire. And by the way, if you do some research, was J. Edgar Hoover a homo? The answer is you're going to find out that he probably was.
In fact, you will find that most people that are in public office have some kind of weird sexual anomaly. Why?
Well, that would be okay. Hillary Clinton, right?
There's reasons. Some of these clubs that you have to join. When I came out of graduate school, I got assaulted by lodges. There's lodges in everything, and the Republican Party is no exception. Secret. They wear aprons. They're like Masonic, only they're magic lodges doing creepy things like ghost dance on the platform of CERN. Why? They don't know good turds from pork and beans, and it isn't going to work, but I had to armor up. That's one of the reasons I got my background in the occult right out of the gate, was that I had to protect myself. It's crazy out there, and people don't understand that. I don't understand their thinking. In my town, we have swingers. I mean, that's the big deal in Oregon. I don't know. Every state has its own thing, I guess.
So swingers are, hey, you want to trade wives? I mean, not permanently, just like for a couple hours. That's what you're talking about, right?
I went to a swinger party in the 70s that had 200 people in a big hotel with open doors. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like that. I don't do that anymore. I tried it. That's now I know why I don't want to do it. It was weird. And I can tell you that I see it everywhere. And when I say that, it's even more with the ultra elite because somehow they get it confused with spirituality and the sacred. You know, the idea that there's something else going on. The Masonic secret, by the way, just for everybody's, it goes something like the thought that occurs at the moment of climax happens. It's about emotional content being punctuated into the physical world. And that's why voodoo does blood. That's why all your magic rituals have some kind of shock value. It stimulates the psyche. And that's how you punctuate into the physical world. There is better ways to do it. You know, there are. It's just low magic, if you will.
Rick, even comedians are trying to use shock value and profanity, and I think, wow, what a bunch of lowlifes these people are, and what a bunch of lowlifes the people who are laughing and giggling and applauding at these vulgar. I wouldn't even say they're comedians; they're comedian wannabes. You know, there were the days, Rick, when we had Will Rogers. Will Rogers was absolutely brilliant in his humor. And before a performance that night, during the day, he would get the daily newspaper. He would open up the daily newspaper, spread it out on the floor, and look at the news. And he would say that you can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's ridiculous. He was the guy that said we have the best Congress money can buy. And he was right.
I actually did like George Carlin, and that's when we started with the hard language in comedy. Yeah. George Carlin was good at it, but most of the comedians that do it now, Chris Rock, some of the others, are not as funny in terms of the way they do it. I think Carlin is special that way.
Yeah, and if you look at the Will Rogers or the Mark Twains, they were absolutely brilliant, eloquent, brilliant, succinct, clever, knowledgeable. These other guys take profanity out and they've got nothing. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Hi, this is Ron Paul. I'm a former 22-year congressman and Republican presidential candidate. I'm here to tell you about something that just might save your lives. You never know when there will be another Katrina, an economic collapse, or a serious drought. We should all have a little food storage that will carry us through tough times. I'm going to tell you about a great way to do that. A U.S. company named Harvest Right has a kitchen appliance that can help you be prepared. It's a home freeze dryer. With the product, you can preserve the foods your family loves. And the best part is the food will last 25 years and still taste great. I've tried it and it's amazing. With a home freeze dryer from Harvest Right, you can literally freeze dry anything you eat, even things like ice cream. To learn more, call Harvest Right today at 800-594-4635 or go to harvestright.com. That's 800-594-4635 or harvestright.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Richard Allen Miller's with us. So, Rick, I'd like to tell you what I've been up to for the last few days. So, we've been cutting hay here on the farm, and of course we cut the hay or cut the grass so that we can then rake it and bale it and store it and feed the hay to the cows during the winter. And we bale it in these 1,000-pound rolls. Well, what I noticed a few weeks ago was the hay the grass had gone to seed. The clover had gone to seed, but the undergrowth was very, very thin. And I blamed it exclusively on the chemical spraying in the sky. This is my own opinion. I blamed it on the chemical spraying because the skies were overcast. Very little sunlight, very little direct sunlight was getting through. We got some indirect, but it wasn't the same as the strong rays of the sun. And I believe that because of that, photosynthesis was reduced to a great extent. Well, then they stopped spraying last week. They stopped spraying for several days. The sun came out. It was like 1950, 1960. It was great. And the grass took off, and it started growing like crazy. It wasn't the normal growth. It was a really fast, rapid, spontaneous growth because the sun came out. There was plenty of moisture in the soil and so forth. Well, now we have a normal amount of grass. At first, I thought we were going to have maybe a third of the volume of grass that we would normally have. Well, now it looks like we might get close to a normal cutting. But it was, Rick, I literally blame this on the fact that the sun was being hidden from us by the non-stop chemical spraying. What do you think?
Well, it's out here in the West, it's terrible. Everybody has cottonmouth. We had triple digits for 4 days. It's not even the first day of summer. And we've had 4 days of triple digits here in Grants Pass. It's dehydrating everything. The trees are showing, they're half dead. Everything is dying, not just the oak. It's the ponderosa. It's everything. Okay. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what they think they're trying to do. besides control the weather and use it as a weapon for communication? I don't know. What I do know is they're not telling us. That's interesting. It's almost like we've been invaded, and they're terraforming the Earth right in front of us.
Okay. Well, let me share this with you. So we heat our house with wood. You've seen our outdoor wood furnace right in the backyard. And it has a very large firebox, 4 feet by 5 feet. So, a person could almost crawl in there. Actually could. And our son said, "Dad, take a look at this." He had his chainsaw, and there were some trees that had fallen, and he cut them down. And he said, "Look at these rings on the trees." And normally, you can look at the rings and you could see growth year after year after year. The tree gets a little larger, and you can see the rings if you cut a cross section of the tree. Well, what we saw was the outer rings were strange growth. For example, one side, it wasn't a concentric ring. It wasn't the same width of the ring all the way around the tree. One side was wider than the other, much wider, like 3 times the width. And it looked like something really happened to that tree before it died. And it was really struggling. And I've never seen that. Growth on one side of the ring and not much growth on the other side. Have you heard of that or seen that, Rick?
No, but I haven't, no. We're having anomalies out here in the West, though. All the ponderosa are dying. You can look at the limbs, and the tree's half dead. And it's... why?
Okay.
It's dry.
Okay. And we're learning that the plants that we eat can't really handle these rapid weather changes. Hot, cold, and drought and then moisture. And the plants that we eat are becoming toxic to us because they can't handle it either. We'll be right back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the highest quality body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers rifle threat rated armor up to level 4 and now introducing trauma pads. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water filter for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, Call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-941-5257. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-941-5257. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-941-5257. That's 1-800-941-5257.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine, and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA-certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Doc Ram's with us, and Richard Allen Miller. So, Rick, I just looked up the word, just for my own amusement, the definition of the word traitor, Traitor. And it says that, according to dictionary.com, a traitor is a person who betrays another, a cause, or any trust. And a person who commits treason by betraying his or her country. Okay, so the definition of a traitor is a person who betrays another, a cause, or any trust. Well, I was thinking about these chemtrails and how they're making us sick and all the things that they're doing to our environment. And so, by definition, the betrayal of trust that we have in those who are supposed to be protecting us, actually now they have become traitors because they have betrayed us or our trust. And they do this by not providing full disclosure. Okay, where do you find information about these chemical trails? Since when has the government said, you know what, we're doing this? We're doing it. We're using your money, your stolen money that has been taken from you through taxes and taxes and taxes. We're using that to spray these chemicals. We're paying way more for them than we should because that's what we do. We're in bed with corporations. They have not given us that disclosure. They have not told us what the chemicals are. They have not told us what the reasons are. And they are lying by omission. And they are obfuscating the entire issue, which, and the word obfuscate, 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 means to make something more difficult to understand. Now, that's what our government does. And the examples are simple. If you get in a line to go to the Division of Motor Vehicles, and if you go into a line in a big city, you're probably in the wrong line. They make it difficult for you to even figure out what line you're supposed to be in. Okay? That's just one simple example. Try doing your taxes by yourself. It's difficult. I do a seminar. I talk around the country about how to start your own business and take the same tax deductions the rich take, meaning do what Donald Trump does. I teach that. Okay. And I ask at the beginning of every seminar that I do, okay, please raise your hand. How many of you do your own taxes? How many? Very, very few. Always the same. It's a very small percentage. And it's because the IRS has made the preparation of taxes and paying taxes so complicated, you have to hire someone to do it because people say, well, it's so complicated, I can't do it. That is obfuscation, making it difficult to understand. The legal system, well, the illegal system is the same way. Just try to understand it. It's almost impossible. It takes a full-time dedication to understand just the legal system. Then you add to that, health and well-being and everything else you need to learn. It's impossible. So, Rick, here's the point. The point is, the people who are spraying these chemicals are traitors. What do you think?
I think that this is not the United States doing it. I think it's the United Nations. We didn't know where the aircraft was coming from, and so some military friends of mine went and found them, and they're up in Chilliwack, Canada. Now, the aircraft has got no markings on it. They're not Canadian, obviously, but they're flying out of Canada. How does that work? They come down.
Let me see if I got this right.
Turn around at Klamath Falls.
Let me see if I've got this right, Rick. So we have aircraft unmarked flying over United States airspace. Now, I would think that maybe some government agency or agencies are tracking all the aircraft. Say, wait a minute, hold it. This is not a commercial flight. It's a big aircraft. And it's zigzagging, and it's flying back and forth. Well, actually, there's like 40 of them. Wonder what they're doing. You think maybe they've got nuclear bombs, biological weapons? What do you think they're doing? We ought to investigate. Let's send some fighters up there to see what's going on and threaten them. They would, as they would anyone else who they found flying and not know who they are. However, I'm saying we must, our government, this must be done with our government's approval. It has to be.
Well,
we just don't know who they are.
There are agencies that have that information, and because of plausible deniability, other agencies are not given full disclosure so that they're not culpable and are innocent or, under grill could say, we don't know, and that'd be telling the truth. It's, I don't know. And I know that the aircraft has cost $100,000 an hour minimum. That's how much it costs an aircraft to fly. So figure how many dollars are going over your skies every day, how much money is being spent. I think that's the United Nations.
One of our instructors gave a seminar at a local event, and he was saying that he will not recycle aluminum cans anymore because they take the aluminum cans and they become oxidized. And because of the oxidation, it's not as pure. Oxidation would be the equivalent of aluminum rusting. So these aluminum cans are used in the spraying of aluminum in the air or the atmosphere by these chemical spray airplanes. And so he just throws his aluminum cans out. And you know what? I do too now. I throw them out. It goes against every part of my moral fabric to throw something like that out. But I will not be part of recycling to contaminate the air. I won't do it. I mean, that's a pretty strong statement I'm making. I'm throwing away aluminum cans. I don't use very many of them, but I'm throwing them away rather than recycle them. What do you think, Rick? Have I lost my mind, or do you think we're on to something?
I know that they change the propellants over the years or over the months because I've vetted at least 28 different kinds of aerosols that have been used, including lithium. And they're using and did an experiment in Reedsport, Oregon last year on whether or not they could lock down a small city that was in unrest using lithium. Everybody there was sick. They did it.
I was sick, and I developed this nonstop cough. I could not stop coughing, literally. And I actually hurt myself, literally, with this nonstop cough. And if you want to know what we're talking about, it's like that cough that Hillary Clinton has. She has it too. Now, where'd that come from? I'm calling it the chemtrail flu. And other instructors are referring to it. I didn't originate that term, the chemtrail flu. One of our instructors did. And I think he's absolutely right. I think it is the chemtrail flu. And with all the flying that people are doing, like if you're on a campaign trying to hold the highest position on the planet that Hillary's trying to, and she's flying around, she's probably inhaling a lot of this stuff too. And that's another thing. How did she get so far on so little? And how come she's staying so long? How is it possible that people despise her? Her husband can't keep his zipper up. She's allegedly had lesbian relations, in the White House. Larry Nichols has said it on this broadcast, on the air, talked about her and her lesbian relationship. So we got a dyke who's running for office, and she's doing really well. Her husband is a philanderer, allegedly, and the corruption and the deaths around the Clintons. Just type in Clinton, Arkansas, the combination of Arkansas and suicide.
You
Type it in.
That Al Gore was vice president to Bill Clinton, and I have to say something. I have a federal judge friend who is 10 years older than me that says publicly that Clinton was the one bringing cocaine into the United States on his so-called war on drugs with that bridge that they built in Arkansas. And it gets worse. Clinton, if Clinton was doing that, and I have every reason to believe my friend, then that means that even if Gore is such a nice guy, he was culpable, just like that secretary. And that means they're all criminals. Now, Hillary Clinton and what she's done with her email, the last woman that did that 10 years ago, they executed her in the gas chamber. Now, that's a fact. So, here we are. Why is she not in jail? Probably she's got paper on people.
Well, sure, it makes absolute sense. And I'm just looking at this list of people who've been found dead as a result of their association with the Clintons.
Yeah.
Here's one. It says, you just type in deaths surrounding Bill Clinton, okay? Number 2 hit on Google, 90 suspicious deaths of individuals close to Bill Clinton. 90. And it says 81 while president. 81 while he was president. Wow. And that's Ron Brown, Ron Brown's lawyer, 34 passengers on a plane with Ron Brown. Admiral Borda, Chief of Naval Operations. Let's see. The attorney for Dan Lassiter. Kathy Ferguson. Wow. Ex of Arkansas Trooper Danny Ferguson engaged to Trooper Bill Shelton. Danny Ferguson's allegedly escorted Paula Jones to Clinton's hotel. I'll do a post. I'll post this on USA Prepare so you get a chance to see it, class. And then Larry Nichols said, in the darkest days of the Clinton campaign, they were talking about Benghazi, they were talking about the email server, and it looked like she didn't have a chance. Larry Nichols said, yep, and she's going to be president. And how's that possible? Well, he must know how they operate and how much dirt they have on whom. So it looks like that's what it takes to become president of the United States of America. The J. Edgar Hoover tactics. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Here's Dr. Paul Meyer, Christian psychiatrist, author of 85 books, and founder of the national chain Meyer Clinics, to tell you about To Your Health liquid vitamins.
I've been taking these every day for over a decade now, and I try to encourage every one of my clients to take them every day. And there's a number of reasons. First of all, it's the best vitamins you can get. It's got dozens of vitamins, antioxidants, and nutrients in it. And then the most important reason why I do it as a psychiatrist and recommend it to my patients is because it's got brain food in it. It's got the essential amino acids. It's got tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine, choline, vitamin B6, and these chemicals that are all natural from food turn into the brain chemicals that make you happy.
To Your Health is delicious. Find out more today. Call us 800-801-3459 or visit online at mytoyourhealth.com. Use the coupon code RADIO15 for a 15% discount on your order. That's mytoyourhealth.com.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from newharvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at newharvestfoods.com. That's newharvestfoods.com.
Richard Allen Miller's with us. So, Rick, there's this hum, this loud, low-frequency hum that is bothering people in Canada. And it's right across, it's Windsor, Canada. It's right across from Detroit, Michigan. So for 6 years, the residents have been hearing this hum, and it bothers them. And they can't figure out what it is. So they've tried to do some investigation, and they thought maybe this has something to do with the steel plant. And they tried to interview the people at the steel plant, and there's no comment. They can't get any comment, any information from at this U.S. steel plant. And it sounds to me, Rick, like this nonstop hum might be the burrowing or the tunneling type equipment that could be just digging out secret tunnels. What do you think? Is that possible?
Well, the Earth is absolutely shifting right now, and it creates noises and harmonics that will sound like Gabriel's horn. I mean, there you go. That's probably one part of it. There's no question that things are changing globally, and the sun has, somehow there's an anomaly on the sun right now that nobody understands what's going on. There is 10% of the sun is no longer radiating anything. How's that work?
And at the same time, we are shielding the sun's rays. So the sun's down 10% in output, and we're shielding that.
Well,
how does that make
there's
sense?
Something else going on with chemtrails. That's damn sure. I don't know what it is. It's not about global warming. Well, that might be one. That might be one thing, but I think there's something else going on. Something.
When you talked about lithium, do you think the idea is to make us or put us in a coma where we're hardly able to function?
Well, certainly, like they use weapons to disperse crowds. That's going to be when the banks fail. Watch what happens and how people are going to, be outraged about that and where everybody goes with that situation. You can't go
talking about where everybody goes. They're going to go to the bank. I don't think that's the right place to go. When the bank fails, why go to the bank? It's failed. Why not go to?
I do pay wages for labor out in the woods, and I can. This last month, I've been paying out $9,000 a day for wages to do cascara bark. And when I used to do that, I purposely chose not to do 10 grand because I didn't have to flag things. However, now, today, doing $9,000, I have to give them my Social Security number and my ID every time, even when I'm known. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Bank of America.
all transactions that use digits are being tracked and stored to be used against us, and people are being arrested because of the suspicion of a crime like structuring, doing exactly what you're talking about. If you know the threshold's 10,000, you do 9,000. Well, obviously you're trying to hide something, and that's considered a criminal activity. As a matter of fact, in Oklahoma, I was reading a story yesterday about in Oklahoma where the Oklahoma police have a device that if they suspect that something related to you is has to do with a crime, they can take money out of your account right then and there on the suspicion that something that you have done or material you have may be related to a crime. So imagine buying something on Craigslist, okay? You buy something and some guy's selling a saw and you buy it and it's stolen. How do you know? And then now you're involved in receiving stolen goods and they take money out of your account. Can you imagine that? We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Vaping enthusiasts, head to VaporPalace.com. Choose from over 150 flavors and a selection of exclusive private stock vapor liquid you won't find anywhere else. New flavors are added every month, and our customer service is unbeatable. VaporPalace.com offers 15% off all vapor liquid on Fridays and get 10% off every order with coupon code VAPOR10 at checkout. Combine the codes on Fridays for 25% off. The ultimate destination for the vaping enthusiast. VaporPalace.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Everyone all set and cocked, locked. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. And I just posted this story, or the link to the story. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol uses a new device to seize money during traffic stops. And this was from news9.com. So here's what it says. Oklahoma City, you may heard of civil asset forfeiture. That's where police can seize your property and cash without first proving you committed a crime, without a warrant and without arresting you, as long as they suspect that your property is somehow tied to a crime. Now, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol has a device that also allows them to seize money in your bank account or on prepaid cards. It's called ERAD, E-R-A-D, or Electronic Recovery and Asset to Data Machine. And state police began using 16 of them last month. So it's in process right now. Here's how it works. If a trooper suspects that you have money tied to some type of a crime, the Highway Patrol can scan any cards that you have and seize the money. Let me say that a different way. If a trooper suspects that you have money tied to some type of a crime, that's suspects, the Highway Patrol can scan any cards that you have and seize the money. That's what they're doing right now. And then it goes on to say that if you can prove that you have a legitimate reason to have that money, it will be given back to you. And they say they've done it in the past. Can you imagine that some guy in a uniform with a gun, a nightstick, a billy club, tasers, shotguns, machine gun in the trunk, all kinds of grenades, that guy can pull you over and think that you have committed a crime and steal your money? Now, if you can prove that it's yours, you can have it back later. What if you needed that money to pay the rent? What if you needed that money to pay your mortgage? What if you needed that money to make a car payment? And they take that money out of your account, then you can't pay for the car. Your car gets locked down because it has that satellite connection. They shut it down. They say, pay us. And you go, I can't. The cops stole my money. I can't pay you. And they go, well, when you pay us, we'll turn your car back on. So then you can't go to work and then you get fired. Or let's say you need to go to a doctor's appointment and you can't go because your car doesn't work because the cops stole your money. This is absolutely out of control, Rick. I'm angry. Links on the website. So, Rick, what were you saying off the air? You said that I have led you into becoming an activist?
Well, yeah, I never thought about politics before I met you. I mean, I did, but not like you do. And I'm finding that I'm outraged and angry at everything right now, and I've never been like that before, and I blame it on you. You've made me become more aware, I guess. I guess you saw it in me when you decided you were going to use me in the first place. I have to say some nice things. I really appreciate Dr. Norm Shealy.
Isn't he great?
He is as smart as I am, or even more so, and I'm impressed with him. I've had some correspondence with him recently, and he has demonstrated his knowledge base is every bit as good as mine. And I haven't met anybody like me, except Norm. And he's always got even better information than I do in medicine. And I'm impressed. And I'm just saying hi to Grace Thorne again, because she's listening, I know. And I hope that Springfield works for all of us, and I'll try to bring Julie.
Yeah. And I got on the phone with Jimmy's Egg. And let's assuming we all make it to the RK Prepper Show in Springfield, Missouri. That's the 25th and the 26th of this month at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. I've been told I'm on the schedule to talk about these massive lies that the government has been perpetrating. I mean, huge lies. And the seminar that I'm going to talk about is you've got to understand how to ferret out your own information. And the lies are so big. If you believe the mainstream media, the dinosaur media, the lame stream media, if you believe the talking heads, then you can't prepare because they've told you everything's good. Like the economy's just doing great and unemployment's like 5%. I mean, that's nonsense. So if you believe that misinformation, those absolute bold-faced lies, then you cannot prepare. So I'm going to be teaching that seminar. And I'm also going to be teaching one about how to start your own business and take the same tax deductions Donald Trump takes. Same ones I take and the same ones that we advocate that you all take. And you can have any kind of business. So we're not suggesting that you start a specific kind of business, any kind of business that you want. The tax laws are written for business owners. The tax laws are written for landowners, meaning not necessarily land, but maybe a home, maybe an office, maybe a rental property. Those kinds of things. The tax laws are written in favor of those of you who do those kinds of things. So I teach a little seminar on how to take advantage of the existing tax laws, not to violate them, to use them to your advantage, not their advantage. And that will be the 25th and 26th of this month. I'm looking forward to Rick being there with us, and also Matt Stein will be there. And we're trying to get together some of the other instructors, and then Jimmy's Egg showed interest in having a dinner, a private dinner, just for us, Rick. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we get Norm Shealy to come, and Lou Cassidy, and Joey, and Ed in North Carolina, and a whole bunch of us instructors to come to that to the dinner. It'll be like a USA Prepares family reunion. And of course, those of you who are in class and listen to the broadcast and pay attention in class, you're welcome to come as well. It'll all be Dutch treat. We're not going to have we're not going to charge $40 for dinner. It'll probably be something like $8, and then add your beverage and tip. So for around $10, if you want, you can join us for dinner. I'm looking forward to that. Aren't you, Rick?
I love being with you and Matt. It's rare that we all get together at the same point at the same time. I don't know what's happening yet because I haven't gotten my air flight, so I'm not sure. I've decided not to go to Europe on that European tour in July. Let me say, I just could see myself getting over there and having it be like Hollywood and having no way to get home.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you made that
the way
decision.
they're doing over there right now. I mean, it's everybody is saying 2017 is going to be when everything hits the wall. That's what everybody's predicting. Actually, NASA has been pretty dead on, and they're saying that chaos rules at 2025. So stay tuned. Bank of America summarily closed a shitload of stores all the way from Roseburg all the way down to Crescent City without notifying their customers. It became Bank of the Cascades, and when I tried to deposit the rent check, I couldn't do it, and so I went all the way to Medford because they have 3 stores there, and they were all closed also. I called the owner, and she had no idea. She freaked out. Where's my money, that she had at the bank? She got it located, but this is now a serious reality.
Rick, you mentioned NASA, and who is NASA? Who are those guys?
Well, it's like the Navy for the ocean, and they rule the universe, if you will. And so most of budgets are slanted toward NASA, except for blue sky things like landing on the moon and things that are not really very important other than a big step for mankind. Good luck with that. I don't know what's really happening in space because I hear everything from all different sizes, including people I care about and trust, Carol Rosen, and she's talking about a secret space program, like that, not a breakaway civilization, but one that has technologies we have never been given privy to. Now, I'm starting to see strange objects in the sky that are now using magnetic monopoles. And so there will be UFO around with unidentified. That doesn't mean they're alien. It means that it's probably new technology that is now... There was something in Ohio last week that everybody saw that was a large object that was stationary and then disappeared. And that's probably going to happen more and more. I think we have new technology that has not yet been disclosed to man. I know we have like a teleportation laser that does not now need algorithms for encoding because you can deliver it to the person you want and no one else.
Rick, when you talk about a magnetic a device that's or an object that's
magnetic
in space
monopole.
that is identified as having a magnetic monopole, are you saying that is the propulsion engine? The magnetic monopole?
And it's not anti-gravity, but would appear to be so. It works with magnetic fields. If you took 2 magnets and the same north to north, they will push themselves away. So what would you have if you had a magnet that was resting on the Earth's magnetic field?
Now, if you've got a device like that and you've got a throttle for it, that's pretty cool because you can.
A lot of things you could do with it.
Yeah, and especially if you could reverse it, so you can have, reverse the direction of that magnetic monopole, so you could zoom forward, or you could go slowly forward at partial throttle, or hit the brakes by reversing that direction. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com. 720-432-6433. 720-432-6433.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Rick Miller's with us. And class, let's talk about the moon. Rick, since you mentioned the moon, I absolutely positively do not believe that in the 1960s, by the end of the 1960s, that we blasted off, got some astronauts on a rocket, put them in a capsule on top of the rocket, blasted off, circled the moon, landed the lunar module, and walked around on the moon, got back in the module, and came back home. I don't believe we did that in the 1960s. Do you?
Well, Stanley Kubrick said so. There was never anything on the moon that we were interested in other than publicity, because the moon doesn't have anything on it, including cheese. I mean, it's anything that you would want there, water, whatever, you'd have to bring there, whereas it's a gravity well. Whereas LD, and Lagrangian 5 states, are, they're at least cheaper for, staging flights to other planets. I saw top secret documents indicating that we had a joint manned expedition to Mars 1 year before the so-called moon landing. Now, the Mars was a goal because it's a water planet. That means it will support life, and so, of course, we wanted to know what's on Mars. Well, whether or not that, I have no idea what happened to that joint manned expedition. What that did for me, however, was indicate that everything's a false flag, because at the time, the joint expedition was with whom we were with the Cold War with, is Russia. Now, how does that work? And so there's something else going on. And I just wrote to Richard Surratt. He's doing a movie on some of my work with the SEALs. And it's interesting because back then, everything was different than what today we think it's about. You know, at that time, there was no conspiracies. There were, per se, I was cheerfully working for the military and didn't know it, because at the time I worked for SEAL Corporation, I had no idea. We were a think tank out of Seattle working for Boeing and Battelle Douglas United, those guys. We had put a think tank together and was doing paranormal studies. That's how Krippner and others found out about me, and then the rest is going to be history. However, SEAL Corporation was out of Amherst. We had nothing to do. I thought it was like seal on a jar. It wasn't until the late 80s that I even came to become aware that it was something to do with military. And all that work I did with super soldiers and everything like that was not necessarily working with SEALs or spooks or astronauts. They all went through the lab, but we had a big lab at the University of Washington. We were doing biofeedback, and at that time, learning how to control autonomic functions was an advancement in quality, like Jack Schwartz being able to stick a needle through his arm and stop the bleeding. That the military wanted to know how that all worked. Interestingly, in the 80s, everything changed. There was no more interest in the advancement of man. There was, if it didn't get funded, didn't get studied, unless it had application. Even SRI and Sandia, it was like that. What did that mean? We've all got enough technology for man to last? I don't think so. That was one of the reasons I left the military. I didn't even know I was working military. I had top secret clearances, but everybody did back then if you were a physicist. That's Boeing, even with commercial airlines. So I don't know what exactly happened, but Vietnam, people started protesting. That was one of the first times that there was a war that nobody wanted to do, and everybody kind of got it. The draft, etc. My graduating class, when they went to Vietnam in '62, half of them didn't come home. And that's a fact. That was before we were actually in war, and we were acting as advisors, and everybody went except those that went to college and were somehow connected with research or, engineering, physics, math, whatever.
All right, we'll be right back.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
The following is an incredible, life-changing free offer for anyone with hearing problems who wants to start hearing everything more clearly again. We're now offering free in-home trials of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear to anyone who calls this special toll-free number now. 1-800-957-9364. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers. It adjusts to let you find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. Don't miss this special life-changing opportunity to hear everything more clearly again for free, with a 100% free in-home trial, free shipping, and even free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-957-9364. That's 1-800-957-9364. 1-800-957-9364.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Youngevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now. But the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Youngevity for over 17 years, since before it was Youngevity. And I've got to say, the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Youngevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never not once been late in 17 years. Youngevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Youngevity.
Class, I've got a couple quick announcements. If you're interested in joining us, if you're seriously interested in joining us at the USA Prepares reunion at Jimmy's Egg in Springfield, Missouri, we're going to try to make that happen if there are enough of us who'd like to get together. So that would be Saturday, the 25th of this month. Dinner would be after the RK Prepper Show. So Instructors are invited. Students are invited. Class, you're all invited. But we need to know. So send me an email, Vincent@usaprepares.com, Vincent@usaprepares.com, and in the subject line, put USAP in capital letters, USAP, as in USA Prepares, USAP, and then reunion, okay? USAP reunion. That's the subject line. That way I'll be able to filter it out. And let me know if you're interested in attending, okay? And if you'd like, you might want to include your phone number or your email address, and we can let you know that way what our intentions are. So that would be for the RK Prepper Show Saturday. I'll be there, and many of your instructors will be there. And we'd like to go to dinner at Jimmy's Egg in Springfield, Missouri. So let us know if you're interested. USAP reunion in the subject line. Let us know if you're seriously interested in attending. Also, Monday and Tuesday of next week, there's a free event at the Holiday Inn in North Glenstone. Dr. Joel Wallach will be there, USA Prepares instructor. He'll be there, and he's going to be talking about the ins and outs of nutrition for better health. I'm going to do my best to be there as well. Registration is at 6 p.m. on Monday, next Monday, and meetup starts at 7. So the presentation's at 7 o'clock, Holiday Inn, North Glenstone, Springfield, Missouri, just south of the Interstate 44, Dr. Joel Wallach. And let me give you a phone number to call. If you'd like to call and get more information, you'll be calling Jim Stewart. He's with us at USA Prepares, 417-863-7149, 417-863-7149. And if you happen to decide to want to buy some of Dr. Joel Wallach's, if you buy them under the USA Prepares banner, I would certainly appreciate it. It helps keep us on the air. That is 417-863-7149. So, Rick, we're talking about the landing on the moon, and of course that means that we'd have to get through the Van Allen radiation belt, which I think poses a very serious problem. My understanding is that we would need...
It does. It's not as bad as the Fukushima cloud that's up there now. And so that means that instead of not having babies, that's usually what going into space means, is that you're radiated enough that you're going to probably either be sterile or close to it. Going to Mars by spacecraft is impossible from radiation alone. They've done studies to show that nothing will survive. They did rat studies on the exposure, and it's lethal, just from gamma rays and the arbitrary in deep space. What we need, I saw something in Scientific American once. I saw one article and then never saw anything following up again. That means something important happened. That's how it works. They had a kind of what it was. It was a type of geometric weave of aluminum, not aluminum. What was it? Some metal that had a special geometry to it that would reflect gamma rays. Now, it was a geometry, and it was the math on it that would reflect the gamma ray because of the geometry structure or something. I saw one article in Scientific American, I think it was in 2010, and then never saw it again. I'm guessing that we don't have anything yet. All these gizmos that will protect you from all the different things, that they don't work. At microwave band, there's nothing that'll screen it. In fact, that's it. That's the bottom line, because it's quantum mechanical, and we don't have anything that small. Yes, we do. We have now buckyballs and fullerenes, but back then, we didn't have anything like that, and so there's no way you can go into deep space for any length of time and survive. Being able to leave orbit was the one thing that Leary felt we couldn't do.
So,
space migration intelligence increased longevity extension, and we couldn't leave orbit. Okay. The one thing, and it's three things that we can do. We can increase your intelligence. I've got drugs that will do that squirt them up your nose like vasopressin or some of the hydrogen sublingual. There's intelligence and longevity. Everything in the body is regenerating. That means we can do. The only thing I don't know how to regenerate right now is soft tissue. I can do nerves, true nerve tissue. I have had a severed perineal, and I regenerated it.
How about a hernia? Can you regenerate the muscle that keeps the hernia from popping out?
Hernia where? We'll just put a little piece of wire gauze inside it and let it push against that.
Yeah. Ted in South
Hernias
Florida, welcome. Yeah, Ted in South Florida, welcome. You're on with Rick Miller and me.
Awesome. Gentlemen, Rick, you might know me. I'm one of your scouts. I've been feeding you information for a while via email, and I just heard you talk about not being able to connect the dots as far as what happened in 1983 and how things changed. And from what I've seen in the studies that I've done, I think that what happened was in 1983 was when the IRAP satellite picked up the anomaly that everybody's seeing approaching our solar system. That's when the evil, I call them, the powers that be, or whatever you want to call, started intentionally and progressively digging more of their funnel. And there's a really good video out there by a guy named Bob Fletcher. I don't want to give any plugs to anybody, but
I know Bob Fletcher. Yeah.
Yeah, look that video up, and he is the one that brought it forward about how, or was it in after 9/11, how all that money appeared that Rumsfeld was talking about. So he makes a bunch of pretty good dots being connected right there. So that's like something to think about. And I personally believe that all the earth changes that we've seen are definitely due to that, not the global warming or anything. So sorry about the noise in the background. I'm working for the industrial military complex right now in my shop. But that is something that you might want to take into consideration. And another thing I wanted to say also was one thing that I also hear a lot is a lot of talk about God. And one thing I want to say is that as far as God's concerned, the thing that I see happening with that, I believe is in the Bible. And I do believe it's Revelation chapter 6 that it talks about how rocks falling upon people and hide us from the face of the Lamb, whatever you want to say. But that's something that is very, very interesting on how it could have been prophesied many, many years ago. There's a very good book. I don't want to do another plug, but it's by a man named, Doug Elwell. It's called Planet X and the Sign of the Son of Man. You might want to check that out.
Right, I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah, he goes into a lot of
we're about to have a second solar system coming through here like a bunch of billiard balls. And my guess is Mars was most likely Atlantis, and I have no idea what the asteroid belt was. Could likely be Mu. I don't know. What I do know is that history has everywhere. There's all kinds of things that have been covered up. I just did a video in Hollywood on these giant skulls that were found in Pennsylvania in the 1800s by very well-known, they have pictures, everything. And where did they go? They got stolen. And we might be the hobbits and the real Earth, or the Anunnaki or whatever from this other brown dwarf. The brown dwarf that's out past the Oort cloud has an unusual IR signature that might suggest that it's a Dyson sphere. Now, that's creepy because we have evidence on Earth that there is other kinds of advanced technologies that, where do they come from? From, previous epochs.
John, I've got a question for you, John. John, I have a question for you. Do you think, through your research, that we put a few guys on top of a rocket and sent it out into space, orbited the moon, got off, landed, got off, walked around, got back in, and came home in the 1960s?
I think that if they went, they did not go via chemical rockets. That's what I think. And I do believe that we went to the moon, but I do not believe that
And right now there's artifacts that are being discussed by a number of different astronauts that were there when they arrived. What's that about?
How is it?
There's
it
a
that
very good movie by a guy named Jay Wegener, which I do believe it goes into the whole thing where Kubrick actually put a bunch of hidden things inside his movies to let the word out that what he was doing, and it's very, very compelling. There's something to do with the movie The Shining and how Kubrick put some hidden stuff in there that is just absolutely mind-blowing. So that's something you might want to look at. But yes, I do believe that, yes, we went to Mars. And as far as the giant things is concerned, the author I told you before, too, Elwell, he has a writings that talks how, of course, the Smithsonian has hidden all that stuff. And supposedly the island that's off the coast of California, what is the name of that big island out there? But there's something found there that has been hidden for years, and many people have been on talk shows, I've heard, that have talked about their discoveries. Very, very interesting. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah, interesting.
So Rick, here's a question. There have been about 10 astronauts who have lost their lives in what's termed accidents, and this was, in the 1960s, and that number is about 15% of the astronaut corps. So we lost 15% of the astronauts, and we don't really talk about that very much. And here's the question: I mean, they say how could this be kept a secret? If we actually didn't do it. Well, compartmentalization and killing people. I mean, those are two good ways, right? When we come back, Rick, can we talk about why we can't fix Fukushima if we went to the moon? Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from newharvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at newharvestfoods.com. That's newharvestfoods.com.
There's a post on the internet that says Cape Canaveral Air Force Station today, if the weather is conducive for a launch, there's a rocket, a Delta IV rocket, that is planned to launch at 1:59 p.m. today out of the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, and it is for the National Reconnaissance Office. The National Reconnaissance Office. Supposedly it's a top secret satellite, and it was built for the secretive National Reconnaissance Office, and this top secret payload will be delivered to space for a secretive branch of the federal government that oversees spy satellites for several agencies. How many of us even knew there was a National Reconnaissance Office? So out in space goes another satellite. Rick, all of these satellites, all of them fall down, right? They all fall down to Earth, right? Every single one of them. Every piece of stuff, everything we put up there ultimately is going to come back to Earth, right? Or burn up. Hey there? Did I lose Rick?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. What I was saying is that we're going to be putting a satellite in space for the National Reconnaissance Office. It's a top secret payload, and it is for a secretive branch of the federal government that oversees spy satellites for several agencies, and it's the National Reconnaissance Office. I mean, how many of us have even heard of that? That's one question. Next question is, doesn't everything we put up in space either fall down to Earth or burn up on the way down?
Usually, there's a lot of debris up there right now. You have no idea. I mean, it's like a garbage pit. And there's a video that shows how much debris it is, and it's mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of stuff coming down that has nuclear power plants in it, like that one Russian satellite that fell in Michigan, and then they had that big hot spot for a while, Radcon 4 level alert. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. Mm-hmm. Collateral damage. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah, like the Bikini Atolls, right? We set them on fire with nuclear weapons.
I tell you that if you knew what was going on behind closed doors, just in your local hometown, you'd be outraged.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rick, it's
creepy.
We've littered the planet with radiation, and Fukushima, Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island. And so the question is, if we've been to space, why isn't it that we can just have whatever technology we need that would shield us so that we could go through the Van Allen radiation belt? Why can't we use that technology and just have a robot clean up these nuclear catastrophes that we've engineered for ourselves? 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and Fukushima, just to mention a few.
That, because Fukushima is far, far more worse than anything the Van Allen belt ever dreamed of creating. And now all of them are leaking. Across all the Daiichi-like plants that GE built, they're all leaking. Florida, New York, it's crazy. And they want to build more of them, and now they just started the first plutonium reactor. I can't believe it. It's just stupid beyond belief. It's like people that are into money and they don't care about mankind.
Rick, I've got farm equipment here, and I've got tractors, and let's say I park a tractor. I know there's a possibility that I'm going to have a hydraulic leak. Fluid just might start dripping. I'm prepared for that. I've got containers ready to catch it at a moment's notice. How is it possible that we didn't think about what could happen with these nuclear reactors? How is it possible? Or do we just say, yeah, but we'll worry about that later? What do you think we did?
That's what they said.
Yeah. Class, if you'd like to go to Rick's website, docram.com, docram.com. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Thanks so much, Rick. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.